Excited to get this rolling. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to be going through a presentation today. We'll walk through what's happened in 2024 with Ashby and what we've been shipping. And we'll also give a bit of a sneak preview into what will be coming in 2025. But before we jump into that, it would be great to do some quick intros. Benji, do you want to kick us off here and let folks know who you are and what you focus on?
Yeah, happy to jump in. Benji, co-founder and CEO of Ashby. Thanks a lot for joining today. Really excited for this recap. I also focus a ton on the product side, so still really involved on product roadmap and all the things we ship, working really closely with all of you on the customer side. And so excited to cover our roadmap philosophy and also some upcoming releases towards the end of the presentation. Chap, over to you.
Yeah, for sure. My name's Chapman. I lead our solutions engineering team, and that means I get to work with a lot of our strategic customers as they are evaluating the platform. And I'm really, really excited to share some perspective into the things that made our customers really excited over the last 12 months and dive into the platform. And I'm also very grateful to Benji for always listening to our product feedback and seeing how we can incorporate it into our roadmaps. Before we jump into agenda and that type of thing, there's probably some folks on the call who are maybe newer to Ashby. And so I just wanted to quickly let folks know what our platform is all about. So Ashby is intended to be an all-in-one recruiting platform that can support your talent strategy all the way from initial outreach through sourcing capabilities, through to application review, scheduling interviews, and ultimately hiring people and transitioning them into your HRIS. All underpinned by a really powerful analytics of recruiting operations and user experience that makes it really easy to use and easy to leverage to improve your talent strategy and process overall. We're going to jump into the agenda for today. Benji's going to kind of kick us off, talking a little bit about how we choose what it is that we build and deliver to our customers and how we prioritize our roadmap. I'm going to take us through about 4 different combinations of features that lead to really powerful workflows that can empower the way that you are executing on your talent strategy. And then we'll bring Benji back up to talk a little bit about the features that are upcoming and what we can expect through 2025. So Benji, with that, I'll pass it over to you to kick off a conversation around the way that we prioritize our roadmap.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. And this may be familiar to some of the folks here who have been Ashby customers for a while, but I do want to talk about some of the kind of principles around our prioritization process. And we'll give you a bit of an idea of what we shipped last year and why, and also how we're looking at things going forward. One of the key things we decided very early on is to shy away from these like traditional 12, 18, 24 months enterprise roadmaps. We find that it often end up disappointing customers. Things get promised but not shipped. They also lead to really rigid product roadmap. And what we found, especially obviously in the last few years, is that it's incredibly helpful to remain flexible and to be able to adjust to changes in the market and to customer feedback in more real time. And so one of the bigger design principles is we really only look at promised roadmap like 3 to 4 months out or so. So it's stuff that we're actually working on that we definitely will ship, and we have a pretty clear date. And beyond that, really focused on just moving quickly and continuously improving the product. I think you'll find that the things that are in our near-term roadmap are often equivalent to what may be on a 12-month roadmap for some other companies. So really focused on how can we move quickly and increase product velocity. And then, as I mentioned, for the things we decide to build, there are 2 main components in the near term. That is listening to customers, and that ranges from smaller quality of life improvements to bigger feedbacks, bigger improvements to the product. And then the changes in the market has been a really important component, especially in the last few years. All of you probably noticed that obviously recruiting in 2021 looked incredibly different than in 2023. We focused, for example, a lot on outbound sourcing, and then suddenly inbound applications and dealing with that volume became a top priority for our customers. And so what we've really been focused on is like how can we respond quickly to feedback and make sure the product adapts in almost real time to your most important priorities. I did say that we have this like only 3 to 4 months or so near-term roadmap. Behind that, we do have a long-term product vision that we're consistently refining. We spend thousands of hours at this point talking to TA teams, and we kind of know where we want to travel over the next couple of years. But the near-term roadmap really narrows it down into like what is the next few things we're going to build. And the last design principle that I didn't touch on yet is that we promise our customers to invest across all the different product areas that we cover. One of the special things about Ashby is this broad product that goes way beyond the traditional ATS, allows you to replace a number of point solutions. And if you onboard onto Ashby, we promise you that the product will improve across all the different pillars that Chapman has highlighted earlier. That is scheduling, analytics, ATS, sourcing, CRM. And I think that's a really important promise so that you know that we are remaining innovative in each of the different areas and not neglecting any individual one of these. I have a longer form write-up that I published a little bit back that I'm going to drop into the chat if you want to go a bit deeper on our roadmap philosophy. And with that, I want to move on to one other piece of our kind of reflection of 2024. We, in a second, going to talk about all the different things we shipped and the growth on the product side. But it was an incredible year in terms of customer growth. We ended the year with 1,900 total customers, and 950 of them were added in 2024 alone. So basically doubling our customer count. And so I want to say a huge thank you for people that joined us really early, but also people that joined us in 2024. We now serve customers across all different segments and geographies. We range from earlier stage companies like Linear and Replit to growth stage companies like Ramp, and increasingly also later stage enterprise companies like Snowflake. And another important part of our product roadmap is to really think about how can we serve these different segments really well and not neglect any one of them. And so I want to say a big thank you again for all the customers that have joined us and that have given really valuable input in all the things that Chapman will be highlighting in the next few minutes as we go through our releases. And with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Chap.
Awesome. Thanks, Benji. And once again, I really appreciate how our product team listens to the customers as they're going through their evaluation and identifying some of the ways that they want to be working within their ATS and their talent platform. So really appreciate all the work that our product and engineering team is doing to enable some of the stuff we're going to walk through. So the first place we're going to spend some time on is how to nurture interest in such a candidate-rich environment that we find ourselves in right now. It's because it's such a candidate-rich market, there's a lot of folks who are interested in joining companies, even if there aren't relevant jobs or jobs that they're necessarily qualified for that are posted in the moment. And so what we want to ensure teams are able to do is capture that demand from the talent when they're interested, keep it a place in the top of their mind as time goes on so that you can tap into those talent pools down the road, and also set really clear expectations so that your job seekers kind of understand what's going to happen when they actually do apply. And we're going to jump into a quick little overview of what this looks like in a moment. Feel free to grab your coffee, have a sip, and we will be back in a moment to talk through some of the impact of this. In this candidate-rich market, there's often great talent interested in your company, even when there's no matching job openings. Passive talent may also want a way to stay connected for future opportunities. Sourcing forms in Ashby let you collect information from potential candidates that may not be tied to a specific job. You can customize these forms with questions and set up automations based on the details that candidates to submit to organize these candidates into projects for future outreach. These forms make sure you're building a pipeline for future engagement efforts. Because these sourcing forms have such a big impact on capturing demand for working at your company, we wanted to ensure you had a great way to nurture interest for these groups. As part of the enterprise plan in Ashby, customers can access a fully robust newsletter system used to send one-to-many emails to a designated audience. You'll see sending stats that you can report on to determine the return on investment for this channel. You'll also have access to a what you see is what you get interface with a drag and drop editor. You don't need to be an expert in design, worry about additional candidate privacy details, or mess with third-party tool expenses or syncing issues. Newsletters help you attract and nurture interest by showing off what's unique about your company, and more tactically, allows you to push out new job opportunities to your talent pools. Okay, so now that we've built these talent pools with sourcing forms and we've engaged people with newsletters, what else is useful in this candidate-rich market? Well, early in 2024, we shipped application deadlines. These are dates that you can display on your job postings that communicate when you'll stop accepting applications. Ashby can also automatically unpublish these job postings when the deadline lapses, giving you a way to help manage candidate inbound volume. This helps you comply with recently passed legislation, but it also helps give guidance to the applicants during their job search, while giving you and your team a clearly defined window for accepting and reviewing applications. All right. So what we've seen through this is ultimately this has a really big impact on the time it takes for you to find and ultimately hire qualified talent. Sourcing forums allow you to build up an ongoing database of folks who are interested in joining your organization with complete clarity on the qualifications and skills and interests that they have. Newsletters allow you to, like I said earlier, engage with those interested folks and ensure that they're up to speed with what might be coming down the pike when it comes to job opportunities or areas of focus for your business. And then job postings make it, or application deadlines on job postings make it really easy for the candidate to understand what the timeline looks like, and also ensure that your team has a set window that they'll be accepting and then ultimately reviewing applications. And again, all of this leads to a really powerful candidate experience, and also reducing the time it takes for you to fill those pipelines and hire the best folks into your organization. So the next place we're going to spend a little bit of time on is staying ahead of the curve when it comes to tooling and the kind of end user experience. We want to make sure that our customers and the folks that are using Ashby are enabled with the best possible tools that they can have to manage the overall pipeline and process. We also want to ensure that we're responsibly applying artificial intelligence and bringing automation in ways that solve problems in a really meaningful way, and ultimately provide a powerful modern user experience to the folks that are spending every day within the platform, either interviewing candidates or recruiting for specific roles. So again, we're going to jump out to a little bit of a video to talk through what this looks like and show how all of this comes together in a really powerful feature combination. In September, we launched a way for you to use AI models to help process, in many cases, record inbound application volume. AI-assisted application review allows you to define criteria that analyzes applicant resumes as well as their answers to application questions. The output from the integrated AI model provide a meets and does not meet analysis that you can filter on to help you more efficiently review your applicant pool. For resumes, this might mean a specific skill set, and for application questions, it's whether or not they've actually answered the question. We'll show the citation and explanation side by side for when you need to drill into the analysis. Now, because we're a true all-in-one platform, we can see how this efficiency continues to the next stage of your process. Early in 2024, we introduced automation to activities. In this case, after the AI-powered application review, we're going to automatically send a direct booking link to candidates for the initial screen. This lightning bolt and notification lets me know the automation will take place, and now, when I go to view the candidate, I see confirmation the direct booking link has been sent. Now that the link has been sent out, this takes us to an enterprise feature we released over the summer called branded URLs. This feature allows you to use your custom domain across candidate-facing URLs, giving full branding control over the URLs that are coming from Ashby. This includes properties like your scheduling links, sourcing forms, and job boards. Okay, so now we've seen a candidate pass their initial review and screen. Let's take a look at one of the most powerful scheduling tools we released as a part of our advanced scheduling automation add-on, auto scheduling. Here we see a candidate has submitted availability for the skill assessment. As a scheduler of this meeting, I can select auto schedule, see some details, run the auto scheduler, and quickly see the proposed times. I'll confirm and review the proposed schedule before sending out these invites. This review and confirm pattern for auto scheduling is something that gives you the best parts of automation while allowing for some room for adjustments if needed. Moving on, in 2024, we revised the design of a few common workflows to make them feel more intuitive. Notably, the scheduling invite communication steps. We made it much simpler to review invites, edit any settings, and toggle on or off candidate confirmation emails. To close out this section, we'll look at interview reminders that can be sent through email and or Slack to both interviewers and to candidates. You can set as many reminders as you'd like and control the timing of each. You also have the ability to batch send reminders or send for each event. Awesome. So this is one of those really powerful features that allows you to, like I said, kind of efficiently identify and move the top talent that you have throughout the process as effectively as possible. The AI assisted application review makes it really easy to maximize the signal you're getting through your inbound channel. And one thing that's really nice about this is it also helps to identify candidates that have the right skills and capabilities, but maybe have not worked at a company you recognize or have a job title that you recognize, really leading to a higher quality candidate pool making its way through to the actual evaluation pipeline. We also have added in this level of automation and automatic scheduling to make it much easier to communicate to candidates in an effective way. By being able to complete these scheduling tasks faster, you can communicate more effectively and move candidates through the process in a much more efficient way. And then the modern user experience that we provide here really solves a lot of the typical challenge that we're hearing from a lot of our customers when it comes to managing candidates through the process. So working to make this as easy as possible and as seamless as possible for the end users. And building on this, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can continue to meet those daily demands of the interview process. We know that scheduling is one of the highest kind of level of effort things that happens within your process. And we want to make sure that you have the tools that can support this and make sure that where you're spending a lot of your time is as efficient as it can be. We want to be able to handle the rigors that show up when it comes to scheduling. And we are consistently revisiting core areas of the product to make sure that this is best in class. And lastly, this is something that I love talking about with our customers, but the ability to take all of the feedback that we gather in a really precise way throughout the process and summarize that in debriefs in a way that can lead to really powerful conversations around decision-making when it comes to candidates through, again, AI-based feedback summaries. So let's take a look at how this comes together in the product. New this year, you can pause interviewers in Ashby. Often you'll want to pause interviewers if they're on a big company project or need to be taken out of the rotation temporarily. This method is nice because you don't need to touch your automations or templates. You can make this change once and have it be effective. The interviewer's daily limit will be set to 0, and you can unpause them at any time. Similarly, interviewers can now pull in secondary personal calendars that will show up during the scheduling process. This is perfect for interviewers that have other calendars that are managing things like engineering on-call rotations or support queue time. Another important piece of our advanced scheduling automation add-on that launched last year is the ability to create and manage scheduling requests. This is yet another process you can bring directly into Ashby instead of using spreadsheets or disconnected ticketing systems like Jira or Zendesk. Scheduling requests allow you to set a priority, add one or multiple assignees, and use pre-built templates for additional details. These requests populate to a shared dashboard, giving an overview of requests with different statuses. This also provides visibility into other members of the team that can help pick off requests from the queue to help move candidates through the process effectively. Now, after you've done the hard work of pausing the right interviewers, importing secondary calendars, and creating a scheduling request, of course, it's time to schedule. Navigating busy calendars across time zones is challenging, and sometimes you need to confirm a slot before actually sending out the invites. That's why we've added the ability for scheduling holds on the calendar. Holds can block off time for the interview, and you can choose to send notifications or just hold this silently without notifying. Once you're ready, you can finalize the details and update the hold. Okay, scheduling is great, but what about next steps and making decisions? Ultimately, your team is driving to a hiring decision, and we want to make that as efficient and frictionless as possible. Here, we can schedule a debrief that pulls in everyone from prior interviews automatically. We can also add anyone that needs to be looped in. Pulling this step natively into Ashby means making decisions on candidates is happening much faster while context is fresh. Another way we can help drive decision-making is through AI-powered feedback summaries. This feature automatically summarizes and consolidates feedback from prior interviewers to provide an anchor point for discussions around the strengths and areas for review for your candidates. You'll always see the source material as needed for the AI-powered summary, and this feedback is front and center in debrief meetings and on candidate profiles. Awesome. So again, the idea here is to make sure that you're able to deliver a really excellent interview experience for the folks that are trying to go through the day-to-day steps of getting this booked. So making it easy to manage the internal communication and the way that calendars are arriving or calendar invites are arriving on people's schedules, making sure that there's really streamlined connection and collaboration without having to use third-party systems, email templates, or spreadsheets to help manage these requests between recruiters and coordinators. And then lastly, I think one of the most powerful aspects of this is automatically prompting for that debrief to be scheduled and then providing the context from the candidate's journey that's most important in making a powerful hiring decision. So not just throwing like a thumbs up or a thumbs down for a specific candidate, but actually identifying the areas of strength and the areas for review with clear citations and all of the information you need to have a really full discussion around how qualified a candidate might be for a particular role. This is something, again, that can be leveraged at the end of a process or throughout to start to identify additional areas you want to focus on with that candidate. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can use the systems that you are operating in day to day to drive talent density and ultimately increase quality of hire. And this is another one of my favorite areas of the product to talk about with customers because of the impact it has on the organization as a whole. So we want to make sure that our customers have accessible analytics so that they can find and remove bottlenecks. This is coming up. We're about to talk through core dashboards, but also through the ability to have customized dashboards. Being able to gather input from the stakeholders involved in the process so that you can improve the process over time. And then being able to leverage the data that you're gathering throughout the entire workflow to be able to identify force multipliers or ways that you can optimize for the highest impact employees possible. So we'll jump in quickly here, walk through the product, and we'll be back to talk about some of that impact. Core dashboards introduced out-of-the-box, accessible metrics across all of your organization's recruiting data. These pre-built dashboards are made up of dozens of reports, giving you an aggregate view across key areas of your recruiting process. Surfacing this data helps you identify and address bottlenecks that you can investigate to help improve your overall recruiting process and practices. So let's take a look at feedback by stage group and its relationship to another important feature we launched earlier this year to measure and improve talent density, quality of hire. So I'm actually going to start with the analytics piece here by clicking into this report. And now I'm in exploration mode. I want to take a look at the feedback calibration for candidates who have gone on to have a high impact on the organization, folks that end up scoring 5s on their quality of hire after they start. So I'm going to update this filter to show all of the candidates that went on to have a high quality of hire, or quality of hire is greater than or equal to 5. And this is going to help us understand how we're identifying this high quality talent within our interview process. So, an interesting discovery that was made possible by core dashboards and quality of hire. I see that during the hiring manager and recruiter screens and technical evaluations, folks that get high feedback go on to have top quality of hire scores. However, they score average to low during the on-site stage. So this makes me wonder, are we missing out on great talent that didn't get through the on-site stage? Do we need to take a look at the interviewer training for these various different interview stages or tracks? From here, I'd want to drill into the data and figure out some actionable next steps. And with this in mind, let's take a look at how we've actually implemented quality of hire at Ashby. So here I have a survey set up that's going to send to hiring managers 30, 60, and 90 days after a hire starts. The surveys are really lightweight for hiring managers to complete, and they appear as a task on their homepage. Once you have a system that's easily capturing and measuring this quality of hire for you, you can identify and implement the strategies to improve this metric and improve the talent density of your business over time. Lastly, we'll take a look at hiring manager experience surveys. These are another type of survey that can automatically be sent to hiring managers once a hire has been made, and it's intended to solicit feedback on collaboration with the talent team and the overall recruitment process. They come with all the automation, question types, and access to candidate and hiring data that you need to make this type of program successful. You can even batch the survey sends to ensure you're not flooding managers with survey requests. And of course, all of this can be reported on within Ashby Analytics. This key stakeholder should be a key input into how you're improving your process to build talent-dense organizations. So as I mentioned at the top of this section, this is one of my favorite areas to talk about within the product. When we take a lot of the user experience and the single platform aspects of Ashby and making the platform easy to use and engage with, we end up with a lot of really, really important data that's telling us how the process is flowing job to job, department to department, et cetera. When we take that data and analyze it through core dashboards, we get really easy access to metrics that allow us to improve the process over time. And when we start bringing in hiring manager feedback, both on the support they've received from the recruiting team, as well as through the quality of the folks that have ended up joining their organization or joining their team, we can start to provide really powerful feedback to the recruiting organization on how they can refine the talent process to both move faster and identify candidates that are going to have a higher impact across the organization. And I think this is one of the most important aspects of the platform, where we can really take all of the data we're gathering and use it as a way to continuously improve and adjust our process so we're focusing on hiring the best quality people as quickly as we can. Now, Benji, I'm going to kick it back to you here, so you can take us through a little bit of some final notes on 2024 and help us understand what we can expect coming through 2025.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Chapman. It was quite the whirlwind of updates and a lot to cover, but it's actually not everything we shipped. So again, if you're an Ashby customer, you probably have kept track of some of the other updates we weren't able to cover today. We really focused on kind of the biggest ones. But in total, we actually shipped over 140 notable product updates in the last 12 months, so in 2024. And what the slide also shows, we look across the different modules of our product from left to right, that we have improvements across all these different product areas. Obviously, 140 is a lot more than we can cover today, but I'm basically trying to highlight that this is the level of investment you can continue to expect from Ashby across the different areas of the product. Sometimes it can feel hard to keep track of all these updates, and so at the end of last year, we also made an investment in making that a little bit easier for all of you. So we now have a public changelog that's enhanced from what we had before. If you go to our website, ashbyhq.com/product updates, you'll be able to see all these updates back to a couple years ago that you can follow and track. That interface shows videos for bigger features, and you can click into the details to learn more. And then you can also filter by different product areas, plans, and other ways that you may want to segment these releases. But we'll make it a lot easier for you and your team to stay on top of Ashby updates and share them internally. And then lastly, we also added the ability to have an RSS feed to that page. So if you can add an RSS feed through email or also into your internal Slack channels. We've seen some customers do that. And that allows you to get real-time updates whenever new product updates are published. And obviously, as before, you will have these updates in the product as well. So within the little question mark in the bottom left of Ashby, you'll be able to see any changes coming in as well. But we're really excited about this product update log because I think it really makes it easier to stay up to date with all the changes we're shipping to date and all the things coming in 2025. Speaking about that, I want to give a little bit of a glimpse of what you can expect coming next. I talked about the roadmap philosophy at the beginning, so we won't be covering things that are 6 months out or so. These are releases that are imminent in the next few months. And we'll only cover 3 highlights. There's a lot more to come over the next coming weeks and months, but I wanted to touch on 3 specific updates. The first one is candidate texting. So we're bringing texting natively into Ashby as a first-class feature that will include texting in the beginning in the US for phone numbers in the US, and then WhatsApp for international phone numbers. Texting will apply anywhere where we have emails in the product today. So that can be automated messages to candidates as they move through the process, reminders, one-off communications, And again, it's directly and natively embedded into Ashby. If you receive text replies, you'll be able to reply by email to correspond with a candidate. There are a lot of really neat features that we're going to cover when we launch this officially. It's currently in early access. We have a couple of customers already that are really focused on volume hiring and that rely heavily on texting to stay in touch with candidates throughout the entire process. And then we have other companies that really want to tailor a couple of higher touch roles and use texting there with candidates in later stages of the process. That's something I've done for my personal hiring for a really long time in the past for my personal phone number, but it's been exciting to be able to bring that into Ashby and share visibility with the entire recruiting team. And this feature will be, all the features on this page will be available across all plans, and we'll have more details on that as they get launched. But really excited to have texting as a first-class feature. And moving on along that theme of kind of more communication channels, we already have a very deep Slack integration, but we're enhancing that further by bringing the ability to automatically create Slack channels around interview schedules. And so with this, you'll be able to set up your schedule templates to say they should include a Slack channel. You can include a templated message, similar how you can include templates for other types of messaging in Ashby. And as soon as that interview gets scheduled, the channel will be created and all the different stakeholders will be invited into the channel. You can share the resume, any details on the candidate, etc. We see this used in early access a lot for kind of on-site coordination and other similar use cases. And in the past, we know that a lot of Ashby customers have manually created this kind of Slack channel. So we're super excited to be able to take a pretty high effort step in the scheduling process and automate that for you as well. So a lot more to come on that soon too. And then the last one I want to highlight is an investment we're making in simplified reporting. If you're an Ashby customer today, you probably know that our reporting is incredibly robust and flexible. You can report on pretty much any metric. You can build custom dashboards, etc. But we also know there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. In 2024, we already invested in making that easier by introducing core dashboards, as we've seen. But one of the next things we're rolling out is an updated interface that makes it easier for casual users and one-time users to build custom reports without maybe getting as overwhelmed as they sometimes do today with the existing interface, where there's just a little bit of a learning curve. And this is a theme that we're going to continue to invest in 2025, is how do we make all the really powerful parts of Ashby that make it so special more accessible to users that are just getting started on Ashby. And so these are 3 things I'm really excited to be launching in the coming months. And again, you'll hear a lot more as these go live. And there's one more highlight that I wanted to call out, and that is our very first own Ashby user conference, Ashby One, that is taking place in San Francisco in person on May 15th. For the last 6-7 years or so, I personally have been in touch with the talent community at large and have really enjoyed meeting people in person a lot more over the last 2 years or so. We've been doing a lot of events, attending other conferences, and really staying in touch with all of you. And this is going to be really exciting to me personally, because it's our first owned personal, our very own customer conference. We're bringing all of you together. If you want to sign up to be notified when tickets go on sale, you can go to ashby1conference.com and sign up there. The official sale is a couple of weeks out. And at the conference, we will have our annual keynote. And in addition to that, there will be a lot of content from talent leaders and rec ops teams. We'll also have a format called Ashby Labs, where you'll be able to directly interact with the product engineering and CS team at Ashby, get questions answered, and discuss future releases as well. Would be super excited to see a number of folks who are joining us today live in San Francisco on May 15th. So sign up if you're interested. And with that, I want to round things out. I really enjoyed this recap. 2024 was a really exciting year. Thanks so much for all of your support. It's been a joy working alongside all of you. And all the things we'll do together in 2025.